I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamie.
And
this here's the wildest vlog in the wilderness.
So 2 weeks ago, we officially became Disneylanders for the first time. We took a vacation to California and we spent a couple days in Los Angeles exploring the different areas, and then we hopped in a car and went down to Anaheim and spent a couple days in Disneyland.
It was really exciting. I don't think either of us really quite knew what to expect. I think we had some preconceived notions, and we have a ton of trip footage that we're going to share with you guys in the coming weeks, probably months realistically. There's a lot, but today we just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the similarities and some of the differences in our first impressions of Disneyland.
So we went for a Tuesday to a Friday. The Tuesday was our travel day. We traveled from LA down to Anaheim. We checked into our hotel and we didn't have park tickets that day, so we spent the afternoon and evening exploring downtown Disney. I almost said Disney Springs, but it's downtown Disney there. And going in all the shops. We had dinner there and just really like exploring the area and everything that had to offer. Then on Wednesday, we spent the whole day in Disneyland Park. Thursday, we spent 99.9% of the day in California Adventure. We did run to Disneyland at night to go on Roger Rabbit. And Friday, we park hopped. So we did California Adventure in the morning. We took advantage of an early magic hour, and then later in the afternoon, we headed over to Disneyland. So we really rode a lot, we ate a lot, we went in a lot of shops, we tried to experience as much as we could of the parks in the limited time that we had, and I think we did a pretty good job. Our list of attractions that we rode is long, and
it's expensive.
You know, we had a lot of snacks, we tried the famous Disneyland snacks, and we just really tried to get the most out of our 3 days, and I think we did.
So I think the park hopping is a really nice transition into the first thing that I was really surprised about. I knew this was going to be the case, but I just wasn't quite expecting it, how close everything is.
Yes.
There is a central area you come in through downtown Disney, or the opposite direction. On one side is Disneyland, on the other side is California Adventure. They are but a 2-minute stroll away from each other, which at first I was like, oh, this is weird. Like you don't have that like travel transition, when you kind of get in the mindset of, into the next park that you're going to. But it's fantastic. Because if you're park hopping, you can literally be in one park 1 minute and 2 minutes later be in the next park.
Yes, and downtown Disney is right there also, and like she said. So, it is really all there. There's a central hub, and it's unbelievably convenient.
Yeah, I think too the size of the parks is nice. Disneyland in particular compared to Magic Kingdom, everything, I didn't really think it was as small as people kind of made it out to be when I was talking to them.
Yeah.
But everything it's just a little bit closer together. It's a little bit easier to walk from one area to the next. I never really felt cramped. I don't know about you, but it's like it's a nice size compared to Animal Kingdom, middle of the day, August, Orlando.
You're walking miles and miles. Yeah.
And miles and miles.
Don't get us wrong, we still walked about 10 miles a day, just running around trying to see everything and walking we went to all the resorts too, the Disneyland property resorts, which are also very conveniently in walking distance. So
everything's right there.
Everything is right there. The 3 Disneyland resorts and the parks and downtown Disney are all within a 5 to 10 minute walk of each other. It was a little bit of a shock to be on Main Street and then walking toward Sleeping Beauty Castle, and we're waiting for the rope drop, and it's like the Adventureland actually, Frontierland right next to each other, and then you see like Fantasyland, Tomorrowland right next to each other. But it was nice because you didn't have to be as strategic with your walking. I feel like sometimes in the Walt Disney World parks, you have to put a little more thought into, okay, I don't want to go on Everest and then run all the way over to the safari and then run all the way over down to Harambe, and then you have to kind of plan it out when it's a more spread park, otherwise you're going to get exhausted. And it was nice in Disneyland we really didn't worry about that at all. Even California Adventure, same thing. we were running all over the place, and
Right.
it didn't feel like, oh my god, it was so far to get to the pier or to get to Cars Land or anything like that. So,
speaking of strategy,
yes.
something that I really liked quite a bit more than in Disney World, in Disneyland, they have Max Pass. So Max Passes, so they still use paper Fast Passes out in Disneyland that you have to go to the machine, put in your park ticket, unless you get Max Pass, which is $10 a person a day, and it is 1,000% worth the investment. Basically, as soon as your park ticket is scanned, you can activate it. You can also buy it with your park ticket. We didn't do that because we weren't sure if we were going to get it early on, but you then can make your Fast Pass selections right from your phone. There's the Disneyland app, and the best part about it is you can make one right after the other. So you can make a Fast Pass ostensibly for something that's 15 minutes away, and then the second that you get on that, the second that that Fast Pass is activated, like say it's 9:15 a.m., 9:15 a.m. you can get your next Fast Pass. So we went from attraction to attraction to attraction using Max Pass.
It was really amazing.
It was fantastic.
And it's a good feeling too, I think. It is. It's a nice feeling when you're on the ride or you're on the queue waiting to go on an attraction and you're saying, oh, do you want to go on Indiana Jones in 20 minutes? There's a Fast Pass. Or do you want to go on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout or whatever? So it kind of like gets you excited and you feel like you have so many Fast Passes and it's like you're not waiting in any lines and it's really, it's amazing. It was amazing how much better it felt than having the 3 Fast Passes spread throughout the day at like at Disney World.
You feel a lot more powerful.
You feel like I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting in any lines for anything except maybe a churro. There are no Fast Passes for churros. But there should be.
Yes, I agree.
And Dole Whip. The longest line I saw at Disneyland may have been the Dole Whip line.
Yeah.
It was
that's
insane.
True. That's true. Disneylanders take their snacks seriously.
Yes.
One of the things that we really did like that I think we were both surprised to find was that it really did feel like we were in Disney World, except like kind of renovated when we were in Disneyland. Obviously, California Adventure is a totally different park and we don't have anything like that in the world. But it really does. It just feels like, oh, we've gotten some old rides back, like Mr. Toad, or like, oh, there's some new rides here.
I think we said a couple times, especially walking around in Fantasyland in the morning, oh, we're home, but they redecorated a little. You know, the skyline's a little different with the Matterhorn, and there were obviously differences, but it was funny how familiar it felt.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was.
The one thing that we didn't like, and this is the elephant in the room, I feel like, is there's only 2 parks, there's only 3 hotels, so, you know, dining options are more limited, especially sit-down tables. I feel like the food was good. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, there's not as many options, so I feel like in that regard it's a little bit harder to...
Yeah, I mean, I do think, especially because it was our first time, so we rode like everything. I felt like there were a ton of attractions. I don't think we were ever thinking or saying to ourselves, I wish there were more rides, but I did find myself saying quite a few times, I wish there were more dining options because other than the couple things in Disneyland Park and DCA, and there's only 3 hotels, like you said. So, I mean, if you think about the sheer number of restaurants just in Epcot alone, just in World Showcase, plus all that resort dining that we have at home, we're a little bit spoiled. So,
I think we're especially spoiled with the resort dining, honestly.
Yes, I think so. We have so many resorts to choose from, and the restaurants are fabulous.
And to be fair, we didn't eat at Napa Rose. We ate at the Grand Californian at one of the lounges there, which we'll tell you about later, and that was fabulous. So I'm assuming that the rest of their resort dining really is on par with ours. It's just there's not as many options, that's all.
Right. And, you know, in the parks, our 2 sit-downs were Blue Bayou and Wine Country, Trattoria, and they were both great.
They were.
We had a great time at both.
Blue Bayou, the atmosphere, oh my god, it's fabulous.
Yeah, the atmosphere was a lot better, I think, at that than eating outside at Wine Country.
Which was also fine.
It was.
But,
yeah,
I mean, Blue Bayou is like, that is such a cool place.
Yeah. But, you know, there really weren't many other in-park sit-down options for dinner that, you know, to choose from.
Our interest.
Right, so I would say that was the one main, like, negative. Mostly it was just, like, exceeding our expectations and surprising us in good ways. I think that was the only thing where we were like, oh, we're a little spoiled in Florida because it's usually like at all of these restaurants, what kind of cuisine do we want and how do we narrow it down? It's usually the opposite problem.
Exactly.
But I do feel, I would say, dovetailing with dining, I think the quick service and the in-park, the snack kiosks, the snack carts were really great. In a lot of cases, I think better than the ones in the parks in Disney World. I think the choices were more interesting in a lot of cases.
Than Sunshine Season.
I think these snack carts had a lot more interesting options, different things that you just wouldn't see in Magic Kingdom or Epcot or Hollywood Studios. But, and I think, I mean, the snacks that we did have were really good. Yeah. Everything we got at Jolly Holiday, the churros, I mean, everything we tried was really fabulous. And the Cove Bar definitely
lived up
to
the
I
reputation.
wasn't sure how a bar could live up to the hype that Cove Bar has, but it did, and I am now heartbroken with all of you Californians and Disneyland lovers that it is closing, and I feel very lucky that we were able to go in the short window that it reopened.
I agree.
But I think, yeah, their quick food is great. It would be great if they had more options for especially sit down, but, you know.
But overall, I'd say we just had the most fantastic experience. It was so fun. It was, so much was new and different, and I can't wait to go back.
I didn't want to leave.
So, starting next week, we'll be back regularly every week, and we have a ton of footage to share from our trip. We took a lot of ride videos, we took a lot of general videos, so
yes,
get ready.
Yeah, a lot of content coming at you. And be sure to follow us on Instagram because we've been posting a lot of content, a lot of photos. So if you want to see pictures of our Cove Bar secret menu drinks and snacks and all kinds of other fun goodies, follow us at Wildest Vlog on Instagram.
And until next week,
bye!